guys, what's going on? It's Twintuitive 717. I am back with another video. I hope you guys are doing incredibly well. I wanted to come on and just check in and do a collective reading. I've been getting tons of messages that I really want to just share with you guys before I guess I lose the energy behind it. I make notes, guys, but then when it comes time to recording the video, it's kind of like you have to act in the moment when you're able to, when it comes to sharing these messages, because I feel like the passion behind the vision that you're getting, or the memory just in the moment, or however your channeling comes in, it's always so nice to just be able to hop on and record. And even if you guys do it in a voice note and listen to it later, it's really, really helpful because you can actually listen and pick up on the energy that you were feeling at the time that you got the insight. Okay, so yeah, I just thought I'd share that with those of you who are readers, and yeah, you might be tuning in, is to use up the the voice recording button on your phone more. But I'm glad I'm just able to sit down and do a reading here, because I have been thinking in the last little while about just the collective and the masculines, and I'm feeling a lot of change happening with the divine masculines, where it's like they are taking responsibility and accountability for their part of the journey, but I'm getting that many of them are doing this on their own, and a lot of them have had to face what it's like to have their divine feminine be the one to draw boundaries, or in their eyes maybe it might be seen as running or cutting off communication, whatever the case is. A lot of them are, I feel awakening to that lesson in life, where I do feel like their counterpart, okay, so take it however it resonates, because everyone has masculine and feminine energy within them, but I feel like their feminine is bringing out the true nature of divine masculine energy, and honesty and integrity has a lot to do with that. And I know that there are a lot of us in twin flame connections where there is a romantic aspect to it. There is this feeling or a vibe in the air that you guys are meant to come together and try to do this whole relationship experience here on earth. Because I know a lot of people have their own views of the twin flame relationship and their own experience, and many readers will tell you it's not about having a relationship with the person or expectations or whatever the case is. And it's very conflicting, because I know many of you have had visions of getting married to your twin flame. A lot of you have had experiences with your twin flame where it's just relationship type of experiences, right? And so I just wanted to tell you guys to follow your heart and to discern and do your own thing, and don't worry about anyone in the community judging you, or what any reader is saying, or what your friend tells you when you share your experience with them and it's conflicting. Pay attention to your truth, because you guys don't need permission from anybody to make decisions on your twin flame journey, because you don't have to worry about other people judging you. And not the feeling of not worrying about other people judging you is when you can take care of your own, okay? And this could be the masculine collective or the divine feminine collective, but it's hold your own, so that way you don't have to take any backlash from anybody, because you can take care of yourself, you can do for yourself. And it's this level of commanding respect. And I feel that many feminines have gone on this journey, and a lot of you have the upper hand now, whether in your karmic situations or your twin flame situations. A lot of you are just standing in your power, you know what I mean? Drawing very firm boundaries and feeling really good and confident about finally being able to uphold these boundaries, and then recognizing that, wait a second, my self-respect makes me more attractive. And I know that has been a theme in the community that I've noticed. That card keeps coming up. Everywhere I look, I run into it. Your self-respect makes you more attractive. And I just want to share, even with my experiences, sometimes I'll think of myself as oh my God, little old me, it's when I see myself, I the person I saw before was, I struggled to kind of jump into my passions and my career, and it felt like I was always going from part-time job to part-time job, and I just couldn't find my footing. And now when I look at the changes that I've made in my life, I feel like if I can do it, a lot of you who are tuned in and listening, and let's say you're in twin flame connections where your counterpart feels like it's really hard to do something, I just want to let you guys know, and you might be in this position too, where you just feel like it's really hard to create certain endings or draw certain boundaries or release certain relationships because you feel like you have to hold on, but sometimes you just end up suffering anyway with that person, and the lesson is to let go. I want a lot of you guys to know, like, I feel like if I can do it, you guys can do it too. It's all about mindset, and it's all about just taking action and going through with it and having faith in the universe. You know, I remember, guys, like when the situation with my job happened, and if you guys haven't kind of caught up on that story, I did share it in the last video. I got social anxiety, like really bad. I couldn't leave house, and it just felt like the whole idea of having to leave my house to do something like grocery shopping or go to the pharmacy or go to a doctor's appointment, whatever the case was, it was just, I would spend the whole day dreading the time that was leading up to the appointment. And a lot of you who suffer with social anxiety and you're tuned in, you're like, yep, I know exactly what that's like. It's like the idea of leaving your home gives you anxiety. So when you know you have somewhere to be, it's like your whole day is ruined because you're waiting for that to come so you could just get it over with. And I never thought that would be me because I was so incredibly like lively before that experience had happened. And I think even today I still struggle with it in certain ways, but I'm a lot better. But I think what I'm trying to get at here is, like, you know, I went from being so afraid to leave my house and deal with people, and, you know, I kind of shut myself off from society after that experience happened. And it was all due to like stress. I was diagnosed with like PTSD, so I think I had a role to play. But now it's like, you know, I've had so much faith in people, in the universe, and my angels, and you guys, you know, had a huge role to play in lifting me and supporting me and carrying me after I was recovering from that experience. Because, you know, when I started the channel, I didn't know what I was going to expect out of it. But I'm glad that I have you guys as a family. You know, you guys mean so much to me. And you give me strength and courage in all of your comments that you leave, and, you know, just the way that you root for me, okay? And so that made it easier for me to feel more confident in my life and get out of the house more. And I was dealing with like having my son too, and so it was really important for me to push myself to get out, because like even in his like toddler days, we would spend a lot of time indoors because I was so terrified to go to the park, or I was so terrified to leave my house to, you know, just like take him across the street to get a donut at Tim Hortons, thing like that, you know. And so thankfully his dad was, you know, so supportive at the time, and arranged his job in a way where we would spend most of the day together, and, you know, together we would go out and do stuff, so I would get used to it. But just yesterday I was at home with my son, and he goes, "Mom, can we go to the thrift store and I can pick out one of those mystery bags?" Because at our thrift store across the street, it's the Salvation Army, so I don't know if a lot of you guys have those in your area, but they have like these plastic bags, and they're filled with like random toys, and so he absolutely loves them. So I'm like, you know what, let's go. I strapped him in a stroller, and I did feel a little smidge of like, oh God, you have to leave the house and cross the street. And I was thinking all of these things like, oh my God, the intersection's going to be busy. I don't want to talk to anybody. Like all these things were going through my head. And so then I heard a clear voice say, you know, manifest what you want. Like, you're safe, you're protected, people are good, people are loving. And I kept saying those things and thinking those things, and really calling in a positive experience when I went out. So I strapped him in a stroller, everything was fine, we crossed the street, we went, and then on my way now to the store, I ended up seeing a older man and his grandson, it looked like, and he was talking on the phone, and he was talking patois, so I knew he was from the Caribbean. And I ended up walking closer to the entrance, and his grandson looked up at me, and I waved. And so I ended up pulling the stroller across the door, and I guess he saw, because I had a stroller, he put the person who he was talking to on hold just to go and open the door for me, guys. And I was afraid to come out of my house. And so when he held the door open, I was like, oh my gosh, I'm like, thanks so much, sir. It's like I felt like the Caribbean bond there. I was like, thanks, sir. He's like, oh, no problem, no problem. And I just thought it was so nice, and it was so sweet. And even when I went in the store, people were like, saying hi to my son. Oh, of course he says hi to everybody. And that also initiates some fear in me. Like, even in the past, I would be like, oh God, he's going to try to make conversation with this person. But now I'm so much better, because I guess I had to restore my faith, that I was safe and I was protected and that I would get over this experience. And, I had so much to live for and be thankful for. So yeah, I just thought I would share those messages with you guys, and let you know, a lot of the times when we look at the stuff that we have to go through or get through, or when we think about the obstacles in our twin flame journey, just break it down and take it step by step, and don't fill your head with ideas or thoughts that tell you limiting beliefs that you can't do something, or it's going to be too hard, or it's going to be too difficult. And I have experience with those thoughts and feelings, and even at this point in my life, getting divorced and having to tell my son about getting divorced and face the fact that I will be, possibly living on my own, getting my new place, and, from having someone who suffers with like having that social anxiety to, living alone and having my own place, and not like having my son's father to, lean on in that sense. It's a big change, but I spend a lot of time telling myself that I can do this and that I am strong, and whatever is in front of me, I am prepared to deal with. And as long as I do it honestly and with integrity and grace, and I have faith that I deserve good things and that things can happen for me smoothly, without a hitch, as long as I keep filling my heart with those thoughts, then the universe has no choice but to grant me that, because it's the vibration that I'm holding. I'm holding a vibration that says, this is what I want, and I know that I deserve it. And so, surprisingly, guys, we're just filled with the strength. The minute we reach out and ask, which tells me we don't have to do this journey alone, we're supported, and we end up meeting amazing people, and certain ideas end up coming into our heads, and certain opportunities are attracted to us, and it just makes the whole ride smooth. Okay, so I don't want any of you guys panicking on your journey. I don't want you guys to get overwhelmed or swallowed by the rejection and the abandonment and the pain and the cycles that you guys go through with your counterpart. I want you guys to take care of yourselves, draw the necessary boundaries that you need to, speak your truth. A lot of frustration too can come from like not expressing our truth to our twin, because many feminines also believe that like, oh no, wait, I have all of these intense feelings, but I'm not gonna say anything. I'm just gonna wait for this to somehow manifest. And I think that one of the biggest lessons in front of you is to take action. I mean, when I started having these overwhelming feelings for my counterpart, I went a good long time with just fighting it. And a clear message one day in my head, and that's how I knew I started becoming more intuitive. A clear message, I heard it. It was like, just reach out. And that message stayed with me. And it was like something clicked in that moment. I'm like, wait a second. Why don't I just say hello? And I felt so free in that moment. It's like I felt like I'm only going to live this life once, and I'm coming from a truthful place, because this is something that's been racking my brains, and I'm going to go nuts if I don't find out what the heck is going on behind this feeling. And I reached out, and I've told this story on my Patreon, but for me it was, go big or go home type of thing. It's like there was nothing in my way that I couldn't face or I couldn't handle with this action. I knew that there was only going to be a huge weight lifted off my shoulder, and there was. So yeah, I just want to let you guys know, if you have intense feelings for your counterpart and you're struggling with it, and you don't know if it's real, or you don't know if it's something that's an illusion, just reach out to the person and send a friendly hello. I'm not saying stalk anybody or go interfering in anyone's life or anything like that. I mean, you guys obviously have to discern in your own situations, but if it's just a matter of like, it would totally be cool for you to reach out. It's just a matter of like programming and fear that says, oh no, don't do that, they're gonna ignore you, they're gonna reject you, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do that. I mean, think about what you're feeling now anyway. you know? So it's like, what do you want to struggle with more? Never speaking up or speaking your truth and having things shift? So yeah, just keep those things in mind. You guys are strong, and the universe is a wonderful place. The world is a wonderful place, and you guys are protected and you're taken care of. And yeah, I just thought I'd share that message, okay? All right, I love you guys. Take care of yourselves, and I will catch you in the next card reading, okay? Bye, guys.